Ladies and gentlemen, UFC 319 is happening this weekend on Saturday, August the 16th, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to be going through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event, and just giving a prediction and breakdown on every single fight on the card. We're going to start off with the early prelim opener, which is two brand new UFC fighters, and we're going to go on from that. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. We are a little bit late for this predictions and breakdown, specifically because I knew more fights were going to be on the card and I knew someone was going to pull out. It's a numbered card. I kind of was just waiting to see how the card fold out. We have 15 fights on the card. We're going to try and get it done quick. I got stuff to do. I know you don't want to sit here that long. Let's go right into it. Start off with the early prelim opener, which is Albi Idris versus Joseph Morales. We're going to go with Albi Idris. Idris in Nazia Fighting Championship, which is a Kazakhstan-only promotion, basically, is quite nasty. This kid is knocking out some actual really good competition from Brazil. Edson Santos Jr. looked really, really good on the feet against Idris. He was fighting well. He attempted a takedown, got reversed on it, and Idris let him back up. We went to war, and Idris knocked him out with some absolutely beautiful stand-up to ground and pound. Erison Ferreira got knocked out with a spinning back kick by him. He has some really, really beautiful striking. Joseph Morales, I'm a little bit worried about. He did get knocked out by Davison Figueiredo. Granted, it was 7.5 years ago, but Davison Figueiredo is not one of those guys who has super, super powerful shots in his hands. He's a flyweight, now a bantamweight. I'm a little bit worried for the fact that Morales has been knocked out by him a long time ago. The last time Joseph Morales was able to get a fight was 2.5 years ago, and that was in Uriah Faber's A1 combat where he won the belt. I don't think that's good enough to get a win over Idris here. I don't think that type of skill is going to help him here whatsoever. He's fought some lackluster opponents, some half-assed grapplers, and some half-assed strikers. I think Albi here is going to out-wrestle and strike Morales everywhere. I think he's just going to be the better fighter. I think in the clinch work, Idris is going to have some really good success, and I think he's going to win it with flying colors. Give me Idris to win by knockout or decision over Joseph Morales, both making their UFC debut. I'm going to go with him keeping the donut and keeping it at 11-0. Onwards to next on the prelims, Karine Silva versus Deone Barboza. I really wanted to pick Deone Barboza. A lot of people are stacking some money on the underdog side of Deone Barboza this week. This has to do with the fact that Karine Silva and Deone Barboza have actually fought one another, and this was back in 2019, May 4th, in Katana Fight 9 down in Brazil. Deone Barboza did end up winning that fight by decision, but again, we don't know how that fight went. We don't have any footage. Could have been, a bullshit decision. We really don't know. Karine Silva at this point in her career is very, very devastating. She packs a major punch over Deone Barboza, who tries to use her lackluster striking to set up her grappling attempts. And Karine Silva here is a very, very devastating grappler in and of herself. Her jiu-jitsu has been improved significantly throughout her career. Her stand-up's very, very good. Granted, her cardio is a little bit checksum at some times. Karine Silva last time around against Viviane Araújo completely gassed out later in that fight. The third round, she was laying on her ass when she got into some weird scrambles and she had some weird exchanges even on the feet. She just went right to her back, and the judges did not like that. Ended up giving the decision to Viviane Araújo because of that, which I agree with. But seeing as she has half an inch of reach advantage over Deone Barboza here, which doesn't really mean a whole lot regardless, I would like to see Karine Silva working behind that jab, using that pop, using that 1-2 behind every kick, every takedown attempt. Just keep throwing the 1-2 down the pipe. Deone Barboza still sits there. She doesn't move very well with her head, but she will try to get those takedowns when you just throw wild shit, and she's really good at it. She's been able to do it time and time again. Ernesta Carrascate got taken down multiple times by her. Very, very good kickboxer. Very, very well decorated by herself. Diani Belbita got submitted. Belbita's been submitted by everyone. She got submitted by Molly McCann. She did. If you're getting submitted by Molly McCann in the first round, you're getting submitted by anyone. That's just how it is. Karine Silva here, I think, is just a bit better than Deone Barboza. I think at this point in her career, a lot more going for her, a lot more experience, a lot more happening in her life and going on with her MMA training, a lot more emphasis, I think, on striking rather than the spots that she's super good at. And I think the emphasis this week was cardio. I think Deonna Barboza eats it this week. I think Karine Silva is going to win by submission or decision. I think Deonna Barboza has a big problem when it comes to the ground game at this point, because Karine Silva is going to be able to out-scramble her and out-power her. I'm a little bit worried for Barboza. I was going to originally pick her this week, but it's going to be hard pickings this week. Next on the prelims, Nuristan Ruzaboyev versus Bryan Battle. And this is the first one that I struggled to pick with myself, being because I like the kid so much and I think he has a good future inside the UFC. I'm going to go with Nuristan Ruzaboyev to get a win over Bryan Battle. The 2 times that he's got some really good victories, one he missed weight over Gabe Green and knocked him out in 15 seconds, specifically because Gabe Green kind of ran at him. Gabe Green last time around was able to get a good victory over Mateus Camilo, ended up with a round 2 submission after Camilo gassed out in the first round, just overworking Green. We had Ange Lusa no contest, which would have ended with a Bryan Battle KO. Most likely, Ange Lusa was having a very bad time in that fight, was not doing very well, talked a lot of shit after getting fake poked in the eye, which we're pretty sure he did get fake poked. He literally was reacting with the other eye when they were announcing it and stuff. It was a little bit fucking weird. Kevin Jose knockout was good. Kevin Jose is a little bit bad in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. He just got kicked out to the PFL, which is very, you know, you can see it coming from a mile away after losing to Jonathan McAuliffe. I think McAuliffe was a huge underdog there too. He was. Again, I'm a little bit stressed out with this pick. Bryan Battle, you know, big fighter, you know, longer reach than Ruzaboyev, even though Ruzaboyev's 6'5", but Ruzaboyev has such a big frame here. The clinch work is going to be really good for Ruzaboyev. I don't think the takedown attempts are going to be anything for Bryan Battle. I think Ruzaboyev is so good on the feet and so good with that takedown defense that he's just going to be stalking Bryan Battle the whole fight, just wearing him down and throwing those big punches. Nuristan Ruzaboyev could not get a knockout over Dustin Stoltzfus last time, which was a big problem. Stoltzfus just closed the distance, held the clinch, just could not let Ruzaboyev get anything off, because if he did, he would have put him out, down and out. Bryan Battle here is going to allow Ruzaboyev to play a little bit. He's going to allow him to throw that jab, that cross, that hook, and that's a problem. Bryan Battle is going to be forced into situations that he's not going to like. He's going to be forced into some dangerous, you know, striking spots, some spots where he's against the cage, and he's going to have to deal with the fact that Ruzaboyev is forcing everything down on him with kicks. He's got beautiful fucking Muay Thai, man. Ruzaboyev's got some beautiful kicks. He does some really good work on the feet, and I'm excited to see what he can do against Bryan Battle. As a plus 150 underdog, I can't stray away from the fact that I think Ruzaboyev is a little bit better here. I think this would be better as a coin flip fight, but if you're giving me underdog odds on someone, I'm going to stay with Ruzaboyev all day. He's just got the frame, he's got the size, and he's got the power. Give me a Nuristan Ruzaboyev to win by knockout or decision over Bryan Battle. Now, Bryan Battle, reminder, has not had any really good wins on his record. Randy Brown, arguably, split decision, could have went to Randy. I mean, I would have given it to Randy Brown. I was watching that fight down in Dominican, and I wouldn't give it to fucking Randy Brown. I was drunk as fuck, and I had money on Bryan Battle, and I was still saying, fuck! I thought I lost. I really did. I thought I lost when they were saying that split decision, and then I heard split, and I was like, and they robbed him. So, you know, it's good. But has not gotten any really good wins, to be 100% honest. Bryan Battle, Takesha Sato was a good head kick knockout, but lost to Rinat Fakhretdinov, which is a big red flag. Ange Lusa, you know, we didn't really get to see the end of that. Still, I would have said Bryan Battle, but, you know, Gabe Green, AJ Fletcher, Kevin Jose, these are wins that are, like, questionable, up in the air. All 3 of these guys could be in the fucking PFL at this point. AJ Fletcher is an absolute fucking bum. This kid's a fucking bum. I don't know what happened to him. He was so good inside the regional scene before he came to the UFC, and then out of the UFC, I guess they just used him as a fucking talking piece, and he just kept losing. He kept losing to fucking absolute fucking terrible people. I don't even know how it's fucking possible that he lost to Levy and Lewis, but it is what it is. Regardless, Bryan Battle's losing this week, and most likely Ruzaboyev by knockout or decision. Sorry, we're going to move on to the next prelim on the card, which is Edson Barboza versus Jakar Close. We're going to go with Edson Barboza to get a victory over Jakar Close. I was struggling with this one a lot, too. I'm a little bit worried that Jakar Close is going to close the distance here with Edson Barboza, and when we start getting some wild exchanges, we're going to see Jakar Close just shoot a takedown and force him to the ground for the entire fight. Jakar Close is a very good wrestler, Michigan State champion, and I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be a huge part of his game this weekend. I think Edson Barboza is getting a little bit too old to the point where his takedown defense is getting a little bit questionable. Lerone Murphy was able to take him down 4 times, and early in his career, I don't think Edson ever really got taken down that much other than by, like, you know, fucking Kevin Lee and Togi Ferguson, or Khabib, I guess. But it was kind of rough to watch, and I'm a little bit worried here because Drakkar Klose does have the proper takedown technique to just keep Edson on the ground. Edson's not a guy who, I mean, to be 100% honest, he's not a guy who rushes to get off his ass. He's just not. When he's in the second and third round, you see Barboza kind of just sit there. He doesn't use a defensive guard. He doesn't try and get up. He doesn't try and force a hip. He just kind of... He's kind of content with like holding you there and trying to gain some energy back, and that's not something I want to see from Edson Barboza moving up to lightweight. If he's moving up to lightweight and he's taking it properly and he's using this to make it so he doesn't have to drain the weight and he's a little bit stronger coming into this fight, I'm all for it. I think it's good for his career. I think at 39 years of age, you need to move up at some point. Why not at 39 right before you're about to end your career? Maybe you can get 1 or 2 last fights in, but we've also seen it the other way. Johnny Hendricks, you know, you move up and you get fucking devastated. That has happened too. And Drakkar Klose is no fucking pussy, dude. He's got major knockouts. He's got some really good stuff on the feet, and he doesn't just sit there, you know, waiting to get fucking knocked out. He will move forward and he will throw some overhands and try and get you questioning. The thing is, though, that made me switch, Drakkar Klose versus Joel Alvarez, which was 7 months ago. I would have took a year off after that knockout, which was pretty bad. Flying knee gets you knocked out and you eat 6 more going down because the ref doesn't stop it. He looked chinny. Drakkar Klose was eating jabs, which weren't even that fucking, like, hard, and he was, like, getting rocked. His legs were still a little bit stumbly, I guess, from earlier in the fight with Joel Alvarez, but that's a fucking... Like, you weren't getting punched for 2 fucking minutes. I don't, like, Drakkar Klose, listen. He got knocked out when? 2:48 into the round. He ate the shot early in the round, and then Alvarez kind of just went to pitter-patter for a little bit because they were, like, you know, clinching or whatever, and Drakkar got a takedown as well. But it was weird because Drakkar ate a left that wasn't even a full punch, and his legs dipped. That's a fucking red flag. And Edson Barboza wheel kicking you in the fucking head, you are not just getting chicken legs. You are falling to the floor and you're going out. Give me Edson Barboza to win by knockout or decision over Drakkar Klose. He's going to put the moves on him and he's going to leg kick him into oblivion. If I don't see Edson Barboza use his leg kicks, he's going to lose. If he does go back to prime Edson Barboza of the past, we will see a violent knockout, probably TKO via leg kicks against Drakkar Klose. I think Edson Barboza is just a little bit too good in the situation, and I think he's been waiting for this moment. I think he wants it. I think with 5 inches of reach advantage, the jab, the 1-2, and the absolute primal instinct of Edson Barboza will win him this fight. Let's go. Next on the prelims, this one's not even close. We don't even have to talk about it that long, maybe 2 minutes. Alexander Hernandez versus Chase the Dream Hooper. We're going with the prospect and the prime boy himself, Chase the Dream Hooper. He is going to submit Alexander Hernandez, a guy who gets gassed out late in fights no matter what. And he's gotten submitted by Renato Moicano in the past before. He's been knocked out by Drew Dober and Donald Cerrone alike. And Chase Hooper's got some really bad footwork. I'm not going to lie. He's got some really bad boxing on the feet. He looked okay against Jim Miller last time around. He looked pretty solid, I'm not going to lie. But it's a fucking problem for me because with Alexander Hernandez blitzing out in the first round and looking really solid most of the time, I'm a little bit worried for Chase Hooper here that he might get chinned and dropped. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Chase is very good with his, you know, his chin, and he's good at it in the stand-up enough to stay away from Alexander and his blitz. I think Chase Hooper is going to get a takedown early, and I think he's going to submit him really early. Alexander Hernandez's, you know, grappling has been in question for a long time. If you look at his last fights, who has he beaten? By the way, that Kurt Holloway loss or win is bullshit. He lost that fucking fight 100%. The only grappler he's really fought in his life is Renato Moicano, and he submitted him. Damon Jackson was a decent grappler at one point in his life. Doesn't really do it anymore. Stood up for the last little bit of his career. Tried to go to takedowns, but just wasn't really successful with them. And it's giving me that type of vibe where Chase is going to just dominate. It's giving me that type of vibe where Alexander's going to try and put him out early, not going to work, and Chase is going to walk him down. He's 6'1" with 74 inches of reach over Hernandez, who's 5'9" with 72 inches. You're going to be seeing a guy just walk him down. It's literally going to be a walk down. I don't think there's any position that I'm worried with Chase in other than the first, like, 3 minutes. I think after that, Hernandez is just going to gas out. You're going to see Chase Hooper start to take over, and the takedowns are going to start coming in fucking high volumes. I think Chase Hooper at 25 is looking like one of the best UFC fighters we've ever seen in our lives. Granted, he got knocked out by Steve Garcia. That was a long time ago. It's October 29th, I think, of 2022 I saw. I don't think it matters. I think Chase Hooper here wins. I think this isn't even a test for him. This is just a layup. This should be a layup. If he doesn't win this, this is just the fucking pity house. Next in the prelims, Jessica Andrade versus Lupita Godinez. We're going with Jessica Andrade to win over Lupi. At a plus 150, you have to take Andrade. She has 40 fights in her mixed martial arts career. Her last winner was against Marina Rodriguez, and before that was Mackenzie Dern, where she beat the fuck out of Dern. Jessica Andrade just powers a little bit different. Girls, when they get hit, their fucking game plan goes out the window. You have Andrade, who's just forcing herself forward now, looking very, very excited to knock you out, and now you have to figure out what the fuck your game plan is, because it just all went out the window. It all went out the window. Lupi's a girl who, unfortunately, later down the stages of her career has kind of thrown away the takedown attempts and the grappling to favor some stand-up. Before all of this, I would highly suggest for this fight that Lupita Godinez, if anyone knows her, which they probably don't that watch this video, if anyone know her, you need to tell her to take down Jessica Andrade right away. There is no stand-up in this fight. There's no let's try and prove to Dana White that we've improved some stuff. Let's try and, get some fans. There is no get fans for this fight. There is lay and pray. That is the only way you are winning this fight. Lay and pray. If Lupi Godinez does not lay and pray on Jessica Andrade, you are in for a rude awakening. Lupi Godinez had a tough time with Mackenzie Dern on the feet. Mackenzie Dern got knocked out by Andrade on the feet. Reminder, this is not a girl that you can fuck with. This is not a girl that is going to be easy. This is Jessica Andrade moving down to strawweight. This is a strawweight Jessica Andrade that's going to be a little bit drained, but just very excited to knock you the fuck out. She's excited. She's very, very excited. She's been fighting at 125 this whole time. These last two fights have been at 125. She's moving down to her natural weight class. She's moving down to 115. She's going to maul the fuck out of Lupi Godinez, and it's not even going to be close. Give me Jessica Andrade to win by knockout or decision over Lupita Godinez, and I think she's going to get it done early. I think Andrade is going to be able to chin her, and I think it's going to be very, very good to watch. I think this is going to be a very, very solid fight. Jessica Andrade having majority of her wins by finish. Almost 70% of her wins are by knockout or submission. I like Jessica Andrade to get a win over Lupita Godinez, who's having a bit of a tough time in the UFC, especially with Verna Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern. Next on the prelims, Gerald Meerschaert versus Michael Olejniczak. If we're being 100% honest, you should put a little bit of money on GM3. Michael Olejniczak was submitted by Kevin Holland, and that was via technical submission because it was an arm bar that his arm broke on that he didn't even tap. Michel Pereira also absolutely forced the fuck out of the submission on Michael Olejniczak. And Gerald Meerschaert here, the only problem is Michael is going to probably knock him out. Michael Olejniczak has massive power in those hands. He's got giant hands for 185. He is a very, very big framed 185. He's from Poland. He is going to fucking be an angry white guy and run you down because, fucking less than 100 years ago they were eating dirt. I think Gerald Meerschaert's in a bit of fucking trouble here. At plus 190, you got to put a little bit of money on it. And submission, 100%, you got to put a little bit of money on it. But the last two fights of Gerald Meerschaert's career have given me some fucking big things to think about. And that's the fact that he has no fucking stand-up because he was getting rocked on the feet by Renier de Ridder. Renier de Ridder was getting rocked by him too. That was just fucking pathetic. And he also gave up that takedown in the third round. And Brad Tavares won a fucking decision over him. Brad Tavares, who's got half a brain cell running around in that fucking shit. And now he's fighting Olejniczak, who arguably has more power in his hands than Brad Tavares. This is a red flag. Red flag. Where's fucking woo. Fucking woo. Everyone needs to know right now, Olejniczak is a fucking problem. This guy is nothing to be fucked with. He's not a bitch on the feet. He is very, very, very good. This guy's got next level power. He does. He's got next level power at 185. Gerald Meerschaert's gonna eat it, and I think he's gonna get knocked out. Give me Michael Olejniczak to win by knockout or decision, but more than likely knockout. Gerald Meerschaert's in a bit of a pickle here. I don't know how Michael Olejniczak is with the takedown defense, but in his career, it's been pretty fucking good. Kyle Berhalio took late into that second round to get him, and Gerald Meerschaert's got the takedown attempt. Like, he's got the fucking takedowns to take him down. He's got the skill. Will he be able to take down Michael when he gets into range? I don't know. If he eats one to the fucking chin, Gerald's going down because Gerald always been very chinny in his career. He's taken some good punishment before, especially against Edmund Shabazian, but you're giving me a lot of red flags with this shit against fucking Brad Tavares. We're going to go with Michael Olejniczak because I'm sketched. Personally, I would put some money on Gerald Meerschaert, though. I'm just going to say. Okay, there's always a chance. Next on the prelims, this one's very easy. We're going to go through it quick. Baysanger Susukayev versus Eric Nolan. We're going to go with Susukayev by knockout. Eric Nolan is absolutely shit. I've watched him in CFFC. He does not look good whatsoever. Alonzo Turner beat him, and that was a long time ago. And Alonzo Turner's a fucking bum. Okay, Alonzo Turner is not that good. Dude's 7-2. Fighting in like fucking just whatever combat organization fucking allows him. Jimmy Drago was also able to fucking beat him, who just fought in the Contender Series this past weekend, and who's kind of a bum as well. Was able to beat Blaine Richards again. No one that we know. No one really. Raheem. Wow. He submitted Raheem Forrest. That's impressive. I'll give him that. Submitting Raheem Forrest is pretty impressive. I mean, Charles Radke did it, but it's okay. Susukayev is a guy who was on Contender Series this week. He fought on Tuesday. He got a devastating knockout over Talha, who was the guy that Adolfo Bellato knocked out in the second round of the Contender Series to get into the UFC. Susukayev knocked him out in the first round very early with a body kick, barely touched him. Just very, very good technique right to the suplex and just put him down and out. Eric Nolan here is going to get knocked out in the first round. This is a layup for Susukayev. This is not supposed to be a hard fight. This is supposed to be a very easy one, seeing as he literally fought 4 fucking days ago, and now he's having his UFC debut after getting the contract. I like Susukayev a lot. I think he's got a lot of potential at 185, and I think Eric Nolan moving up to 185 on short notice is a fucking as bad. You don't want to do that against a UFC caliber fighter. No, sir. That is not something you want to do, and that is not something I am excited to see. Look for Susukayev to win by devastating fashion. Next, to start off the main card of the evening. If you guys enjoyed this so far, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. We have Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakura, and Kaya Sakura is the easiest pick of the week, honestly. He's probably going to knock out Tim Elliott this week. Tim Elliott has not fought in almost 2 years. He's going to have ring rust. He has lost to Muhammad Makayev and Mateus Nicolau. These are not very good guys compared to Kaya Sakura. Okay, these are very, 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 very good flyweights. Don't get me wrong. Very, very good flyweights. Very good flyweights. Don't get me wrong. Kaya Sakura almost knocked out Pantoja. That knee was fucking close. Was really close. And Kaya Sakura here is going to be all over Tim Elliott in the first 2 rounds. There is not really a whole lot of takedown threat from Tim Elliott. Kaya Sakura has really, really good takedown defense. Alexandre Pantoja just kind of forced it really, really well in their fight. Excuse me. Kaya Sakura is one of the most devastating strikers I've ever seen. Comes out of Risen. Very, very, very good. Was champion there as well. And he's got a lot of good victories over a lot of lackluster guys. Tim Elliott here is not lackluster, but a little bit lackluster in the fact that he's not fought in 2 years. The ring rust is real. We will see some UFC jitters most likely from him, and we will likely see Kaya Sakura knock him out in early stages of round 1. I think Kaya Sakura is coming into his own. I think at 32 years of age, he's coming into his prime. I think that the UFC picked him up at the perfect time, and I think he's going to get a really, really highlighted victory here over Tim Elliott, who's just kind of getting fed to the wolves at this point. Tim Elliott's probably on the later end of his career. He's probably ready to retire at this point. If he does get knocked out tonight, on Saturday night, he will probably end up just leaving the UFC entirely. I don't think there's a whole lot left for Tim Elliott to do in his career. He is, almost 40 fights, 34 right now. He's almost 39. Like, he's getting to the point where, you got to start thinking about your future. You got to start thinking about, what you're going to do after the UFC. It's not going to have a whole lot left for you now, especially after Kaya Sakura just fucking blitzes you. Give me Kaya Sakura to win by knockout or decision over a Tim Elliott that's kind of questioning his life right now while he's on the fucking toilet, because I don't know how he's looking at that fight and getting excited. There's no fucking way you're excited. Next on the main card, Jared Killa Gorilla Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. We're going with Michael Venom Page. I think the distance is going to be a problem for Cannonier. I think the fact that Michael Venom Page fights so fucking well and so well at distance is going to give Cannonier a lot of problems. Cannonier, time and time again through his career, a bit of a slow starter, likes to let guys kind of put the pressure on him, and then he'll come back and do it a little bit better. You know what I mean? Put a little bit more pressure on them than they put on him. But Michael Venom Page here is just the fucking prime ascendant of a pressure fighter. This guy fights at range, blitzes in, goes right back to range, and makes people very frustrated, makes people very confused. And he's one of the fastest fighters on the entire roster, and that's not a lie. He is one of the fastest, when it comes to fast twitch muscle fiber, he's got some of the most inside the UFC, and it's not even close. Michael Venom Page has got some devastating work. He's got some devastating knockouts on his face. He's got a fucking 720 punch. He's got fucking 720 kicks. He's got some crazy shit. He's just always in the octagon looking to find the victory. He's always looking for the right thing to do. And he was able to get a win over Shara Bullet Magomedov last time around, which is pretty obvious that it was going to happen. Shara's some lackluster in some areas. Jared Cannonier here is lackluster in speed. He's 41 and a half years old. He's kind of getting to the end of his career. Michael Venom Page is going to put a show on him and get a nice victory. I give me Michael Venom Page to win by knockout or decision over Jared Cannonier. It's just getting a little bit older, you know what I mean? A little bit weathered, a little bit, you know, aged, if you will. A little aged like a fine wine is Jared Cannonier. This kid better bring some more fucking rocks to put in his pocket, because Cannonier's gonna have a rough time this weekend. Next on the main card, Jeff Hands of Steel Neal versus Carlos Prates. And I was thinking of picking Jeff Neal the whole week. Carlos Prates got a little bit exposed by Ian Machado Gary. He's a little bit of a one-dimensional fighter, and when he fights guys that just do exactly what he does but a little bit better, he does end up losing. Now Jeff Neal does have some fucking devastating hand power. He has some devastating boxing. He's one of the best welterweights in the world. He got a win over RDA, which doesn't really count. Split decision over Ian Machado Gary. Could have given it to Jeff Neal. Shavkat Rakhmonov was able to choke him out in the third round. He won one of those rounds as well. Vicente Luque got knocked out. Couldn't get any takedowns. Got taken down by Jeff Neal. Even Santiago Ponzinibbio. Split decision's a red flag for me. But Jeff Neal is a vet. He's got good takedowns. He's got good wrestling, and that's a little bit of a problem for me when it comes to Carlos Prates. Prates does not really have that good of takedown defense. He does do well with his frame, the fact that he's 6'1" at 170, but it brings some problems. The clinch work's a problem for Carlos Prates. He likes to be at range. He needs to be at range, and when you don't give him that range like Jeff Neal does not give range. That guy just moves forward. He tries to chin you. So Carlos Prates is going to be forcing to try and get his own range the whole fight. I'm going to lean with Carlos Prates to win by decision. I think this fight's going over. I think the fact that both of these guys got some fucking devastating hands is going to lead into some tendency. I think it's going to lead into some, just a little bit too much staring, a little bit too much, I think Prates is a little bit worried too. I think the fact that he had 6 what was it? How many now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 knockouts in a row. You lose by decision, and now you got the Jeff Neal fight that you were supposed to have earlier in the year coming up right now. I'm going to go with Carlos Prates. I am worried. I think Jeff Neal can definitely win it. Jeff Neal plus 3.5 is probably still plus money. I'd bet that, honestly. Carlos Prates is going to have a bit of a fucking, he's got his work cut out for him this weekend. I think he's going to have some success, but Jeff Neal's the one guy I didn't want Carlos Prates fighting at this point in his career. Guess who was fighting? Fucking Jeff Neal. I was excited when that fucking fight got postponed, too. That fight got canceled. Who was it? Yeah, Jeff Neal fucking withdrew. I would have really liked to see that earlier, because now Carlos Prates, after Ian Machado Gary, now I'm questioning it too much. I'm still going to go with Carlos Prates, but it's giving me a lot of fucking pressure. Co-main event of the evening, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. We're going Lerone Murphy. I mean, plus 115 as a UFC vet. Been in the UFC for a long time. Coming into his own. Just beat Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, Edson Barboza, Josh Kulabau, which is kind of a shitty win, whatever. Aaron Pico's really good. I would love to choose Aaron Pico this week. I would. But, yeah. Listen, the Henry Corrales knockout, I understand he just knocked him out in PFL. I get it. His comeback fight, whatever. He knocks out the guy that knocked him out first in his career. Granted, yeah, whatever. I still remember watching that on the Joe Rogan Experience. I still remember watching Brendan Schaub crawl on the floor. And I still remember watching him just not be dialed in whatsoever. Like, whatsoever. Not whatsoever. Now, granted, we're a little bit past this time in his career. Realistically, hasn't lost since 2020. He had a bad shoulder injury in 2022. Wasn't really Kennedy's fault. So, I mean, you can't really give it to him. I would say Pico's still, riding a bit of a win streak. But, yeah, Aaron Pico, at 28 years of age, man, he's coming into the UFC a little bit, not premature, but it's like, maybe he should have came earlier. Like, you fought a year and a half ago. Maybe you came a bit earlier. They would have got you in, rotation. You could have got, 2 fights a year, 3 fights a year. At this point in Aaron Pico's career, he fights once a fucking year. Like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch a guy who fights once a fucking year and has some lackluster decisions over some shitty fucking guys. Like, he should have been able to knock out James Gonzalez. You don't think so? You don't think Aaron Pico should have knocked out James Gonzalez? The same guy who got knocked out by fucking whatever the fuck this guy's name is? Like, who the fuck is this? Ilir Bakatire Ululu. What the fuck? Kyle Machado? Oh my god, that guy. That guy's just fucking everywhere, apparently. I've seen a lot of people. If this was fucking 2 years ago, Aaron Pico's getting picked. Because I don't know who the fuck Lerone Murphy is. I know who Lerone Murphy is. I know he went toe-to-toe with Josh Emmett. I know he has some 10A rounds over Josh Emmett. I know Lerone Murphy on the feet is fucking devastating. I know Dan Ige only won 1 round over their fucking fight. Okay? Actually, did he? Hold on, let me just double check this. Maybe I'm talking out of my fucking ass. Yeah, 29-28 Murphy. He did win a round with the first round. Yeah, Murphy had to settle in, that's all. Murphy settled in that second round, though. Murphy does, and Murphy listens well. That's a fucking thing, too. Aaron Pico does not listen well. This guy does not listen. He gets told some good advice. This motherfucker does the opposite. That's a problem for Aaron Pico. Listen to your corner. You pay them. Listen. Lerone Murphy, that's it. No, I remember that too. Aaron Pico doesn't fucking listen. Lerone Murphy's one of those guys that listens to his corner, fucking transitions what he's doing, and just starts winning fights, okay? Lerone Murphy listens to what his corner says and always adapts. Aaron Pico does not. He's going to lose this fight. Aaron Pico is going to fucking be like, alright, Aaron, you gotta use your fucking wrestling, man. You got really good wrestling credentials. You gotta use your wrestling. And he's like, fuck that shit. I'm Justin Gaethje. Let's fight. He's going to end up losing to Lerone Murphy. Fuck that. Lerone Murphy's going to win. Knockout or decision. Fuck Aaron Pico. He's going to get knocked out. I think Aaron Pico came in way too late in his career. I think he should have came in later. 17 fights on his career. I mean, he's got the exact same as Lerone Murphy. Not even close to the same caliber of fighter. Not even close. Not even close to the same level of, like what's Lerone Murphy's worst win? Gabriel Santos, Josh Kulabau. Josh Kulabau would knock the fuck out of half the people that fucking Aaron Pico's fought. Josh Kulabau would be champ in a division of people that Aaron Pico's fought, okay? I don't give a fuck. Next, main event of the evening. Let's fucking go. Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, and we're going Khamzat Chimaev to absolutely roll the fuck over Du Plessis. Du Plessis does not have the ability to deal with Khamzat Chimaev. This is Father Chimaev. This is dialed-in Chimaev. This is cardio Chimaev. This is devastating Chimaev. This is a problem. This is Khamzat Chimaev probably at his best. This is Khamzat Chimaev very excited to see what the fuck is going to happen with his career after this, because most likely Khamzat Chimaev is coming out here with a belt. When Khamzat Chimaev had his first ever Contender Series battle, and first ever UFC fight, that was against John Phillips. That was back in 2020. He got a darce over John Phillips, okay? It was a crazy ass victory, okay? And then he goes into fucking Rhys McKee, knocks out the devastating striker in Rhys McKee. Okay, who do we have next? And then he gets Gerald Meerschaert, and he chins Gerald Meerschaert, the guy who talked shit to him that whole week, by the way. That whole week GM3 was talking shit to him. And Khamzat said, Brada, it's going to be over, Brada. It's going to be over. Oh, guess what? Oh, it was over. It was over. GM3 ain't fucking breathing that much after that fight. He was snoring on that one. Probably fucked his whole chin up, too. Probably the whole reason why GM3's fucking shit now. Khamzat Chimaev's devastating. His grappling's devastating. His hands are devastating. Dricus Du Plessis does not look technical whatsoever. He never does. He usually just wins fights by winning them. Like, just by magic. Sean Strickland was able to beat him by split decision. Or in my opinion, anyway. I thought he won that. Lost his second fight. Was able to submit fucking Israel Adesanya, which is insane to me. Robert Whittaker got knocked out by Dricus. Khamzat Chimaev, though, against Robert Whittaker was a fucking... That's a flag of something. He ripped apart his jaw. He's got so much pressure that he popped his jaw back. And his teeth line. Like, holy fuck. He broke his teeth. I think Khamzat Chimaev here is just too easy to pick. They're fighting in Chicago, Illinois. There is no bias here. There's not going to be a close decision. I think this fight ends in the first 2 rounds. I think either Khamzat Chimaev gets chinned or he just blitzes the fuck out of Dricus. And there is not one scenario I can genuinely see, at all. Not one that I could see where Dricus Du Plessis wins. There's not one. Khamzat Chimaev is going to have a fucking stroke in the middle of the octagon for him to lose. Like, Dricus Du Plessis looked so bad in his fight against Sean Strickland. Like, he looked so lackluster. I think Khamzat Chimaev's just gonna fucking roll over him. I think it's just too easy. I think it's gonna be like a fucking just a mop. Realistically, Khamzat Chimaev's been asking for this for a long time. Was never able to make it at welterweight. He would be already world champ at welterweight, but I think he's gonna be able to get it done at middleweight. I think he's just too powerful. I think he's got too much going for him, and I think if you don't have jiu-jitsu credentials like Gilbert Burns, I don't think there's anything you can do, because Khamzat Chimaev does not care. He is so excited to get in that octagon, and he's so excited to fight you, that I think for a lot of guys it scares them. I think for a lot of guys, they don't know what to do, and they don't know how to deal with it. I think Dricus Du Plessis is not going to know what to deal with it once he gets his ass taken down and his back taken right away in round 1. Give me Khamzat Chimaev to win by knockout or submission over Dricus Du Plessis. And that's all I got for you guys this week. This was UFC 319 predictions and breakdowns. I'll have for you guys the best bets tomorrow on Friday, because I'm just looking at the lines. I got to get it done. I got to take a little bit, closer look at it. I'm not 100% sure if I'm confident on my picks this week. That's why I got to take a look. I don't want to give you guys some lackluster bullshit predictions. I'm not trying to get you guys losing some money. That's all I got for you guys this week. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you guys all for the betting talk tomorrow, and I will see you guys all for the live stream on Saturday. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Peace.